We're going to go to the Wholesale tab, and you're going to notice a couple things. Like I said, the MOQ is the main thing changing. So we're going to see the MOQs are pretty large. That's traditional with Wholesale. So we're not going to set a parameter on the MOQ. We're just going to leave it open. I'm just going to set the offers to 3. Okay. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to sprint right to the fastest selling stuff. There's so many options. You could go through these for hours and hours. We're going to set the ROI 20 to 60. Okay, price, just nothing too expensive, nothing over. One thing to think about with these MOQs is if you're buying something pretty expensive, $100 or more, something like that, and it's priced high, that MOQ is going to cost you a lot. Usually the MOQs are going to be larger on the cheaper products just because of dollar value, how they work out. But we're just going to lower the price just in case return, stuff like that. MOQ, we're going to leave it. Okay. The lowest MOQ is 24. You can see because this is a min, you can't change. So lowest MOQ is going to be 24. Quantity, how much I have in stock, as we spoke about. We're going to leave category open. We're going to leave suppliers open. Here's the suppliers for Wholesale. Okay. We're going to see there's so many products. A lot of them are from this company called Palletfly. Palletfly is really cool. I'll show you briefly how Palletfly works. So they're a very large wholesaler, okay? And they show there's large MOQs, like this one's going to cost you $1,600. This is for this marble track. And then it'll show you where the Amazon listing is. Let's keep this pretty dead. There's not much action going on it. Okay. But this is how Palletfly works. It's pretty cool. So let's take a look at some of these. So a lot of these are from Palletfly, Bulk by America, Tamagotchis. If you remember those are fun. So let's go. Here we go. 31% ROI. Let's go to ROI. 15 sellers. Purchase it for $19.15 off for $37. So let's take a look at this. First, we could look here. It's estimating the monthly sales at 66. So we're going to take a look at Keepa and see what we see, but this is nice. Okay. We're going to go to the Amazon listing. So as we can see here, this is a cologne. So we're going to go down. We're going to take a look at the Keepa. We're going to take a look at the offers. Okay, let's wait for this to load in here. Here's Seller Amp. We'll close that for now. We'll come back to that later. So as you can see, this is a great example of what it looks like when there is a very sharp drop-off in BSR, okay? And what that does to offer count. In men's eau de parfum, it became the #1 seller, and it went down to about as low as 260 in beauty and personal care, when it was normally at 33,000 in beauty and personal care. So that is a huge drop, huge. So that's why I wouldn't be concerned about these seller drop-offs, because what's happening is it's becoming super popular. People are buying it up. People do not have enough stock. The sellers do not have enough stock, so they're selling out, and then they're off the listing because they're sold out. So that's what's happening. That's why the seller count is dropping here. Okay. Here we have the price, the buy box, Keepa line. Okay. It's staying very constant. 33. Here we're at 44. Okay. Just moving a little bit, you know. It does spike here up to 60, but overall it seems to be, this listing is just 3 months old. You know, this is a good listing. It is only almost 4 months old, so just, you know, be wary. It's newer listings are more unpredictable, but I think this is a safe bet. Look, it looks good. Okay. As long as this doesn't downtrend more. So this is something you might want to watch a little bit and just see what happens. But I think this would be a safe bet. But you do want to be more cautious with wholesale. You're buying large quantities. Let's look at the data. So in the last 30 days, we're looking at 4,563 sales. That is a lot of sales. And it's not all to you, though. It's not all to the new sellers, obviously, you know, because as we could see, this guy has 1,700 sales, this guy has 1,400, this guy has 740. So off the bat, you know, a chunk of those are used up, are being taken by these people. But let's see what type of sellers you have. This guy only has 82 reviews. Not huge. He's getting a lot of sales. So it's not hard. This guy has 35 reviews. He has 74 sales. It's not hard. 19 reviews, 36. It's not hard for people to break into this listing and get some sales. 12 reviews, 21 sales. So this is a good listing, okay? This is a really good listing. So let me pull a seller out. And what we're going to look at here is what our profit's at. So we're buying it for $19.15. Buy box is at $35.98. $5.13 profit. It's good. 27%. 27% ROI. That's a good ROI. We just got to watch this, make sure it stays relatively good. Even if it drops, let's say it drops to 35. Okay. We'd be at 22% ROI. We're still at a 12% margin. You're good as long as you're above 10% margin, in my opinion. Especially if this is flying. If this is selling very quick, I would not be concerned. If it goes down to this flat line, 33.30, you're down to a 15% ROI. Dips below the 10% net margin, but it might come down to this, but I think it's going to stay relatively higher. And if you get a good portion of those sales, at 27% ROI, and you get the rest of them down close to 20% or a little lower, it's not the end of the world. Your average return is still pretty good. Okay. So this is selling pretty good. You got to be aware, I'm on gate on this, but you got to look. This is a hazmat item in dangerous goods. If you're not in the dangerous goods program, you can't sell it. It's because it's a cologne. So keep that in mind. Now let's look at the where you're going to purchase this from. MOQ is 180. This says 100, but it's I think this meant 180, as you can see from the site. We'll take a look. So if you wanted to buy the whole MOQ of 180 at $19, it's going to be a few grand. So that's why wholesale is not for the faint of heart. You got to be a little experienced and have some money. Okay, this is it's in Florida. They have 180 units. Take all of them. They want you to take all 180 if you want to purchase this. Here, you're going to be over 3,000, about 3,500 if you were to buy all of these. That's 180. Okay, so it's not a huge concern selling those 180. We know that it has the velocity to move that many. If you bought 180 and you were like this guy right here, you know, in a few days or in a few months, you can get all those sales. Okay, but you got to think further out in wholesale. You're on a longer time frame than online arbitrage, whereas in online arbitrage, you're in a shorter time frame, a couple weeks at a time, a few weeks at a time. So that's what you're getting from Nepeto. You're getting a very thorough, easy layout. It's going to search all these suppliers for you. It's going to get all the information you need, and it's going to put it in one spot. So if you wanted to find these wholesale suppliers or these distributors and find all these products, you'd have to go to all these suppliers. You have to go to all their sites, and you'd have to download all the PDFs, all their product lists. You'd have to, the ones that don't have product lists, you'd have to thumb through them all. You have to use some type of scanning tool or go through it manually or have a VA go through it. It's a huge pain. It'd take forever. So that's the great thing about Nepeto. It's going to do all of this for you, and then you're not going to have to worry about it. And you have that variety. So if you're not ready to break into the distributor space yet, the wholesale market, you could just stick with retail. There is going to be many more suppliers being added onto this, and you could go very far, as we talked about with some of these products that we found in the last portion. The ROIs are pretty good, and if you compound that every month, it really adds up. So in my opinion, if you're watching this and you don't have any program to find products, you're struggling to find products, or you're finding products but you want to find more different types, I would highly recommend Nepeto. And what you can do is, I would go through this for a few hours and go through all of these. I would open up all the ASINs, have all the tabs open, and I'll go through all the, first I go through all the Keepas. Once you know the Keepa's good, then I would take a look at the offers tab on Keepa, check the sales. Once I know that's good, check the source, check the price, make sure all that's good. This is doing the legwork for you, but you still need to double check and make sure. Okay? And I'll do that for a few hours, and you're going to find a handful of products, and then based on how many sales there are, I buy a few of each, 3 to 5, something small. Even if it's a great product, you don't want to put all your money in one, because the price may drop. No product is perfect, right? So you want to put, I would say, 5 units of each, and find a bunch of products and buy a bunch of units, and then just wait for them to sell, and then reinvest that money and find more products. This updates daily with more products. There's going to be a lot more. There's a good chunk of suppliers now. There's going to be even more. And then once you got some capital built up from the retail side, go over to distributors, go over to wholesale, and then break into that. And this makes it very easy. It's an easy progression straight from retail to wholesale. And by using these price graphs, you're going to get a little bit of information before you go into the Keepa and SellerAmp to get an idea of what you're looking at, to prepare you for that. That way you could get a lot of this information on this tab, or even if you look at one of these products and you say, okay, there we go, we could see price is flat, we could see sales rank is going up, so sales are going to be decreasing, have been decreasing, starting to plateau. You could draw your conclusions from this. Okay, according to sales rank now, it's getting one monthly sale. So from this you could gather it may not be a great product, and then you can move on to something else. There's a bunch of products in here. The hide feature is good because if you've ever done something like a lead list or something where everyone has leads, some of the same leads, here it's not a huge problem because there is so many leads. So I don't think there's going to be issues with too many people flooding each product because there is so many. But if you wanted to ensure that doesn't happen, you could hide it. Pay the $3, hide the lead so that no one else can see it. That way you can make sure it doesn't get flooded, because you're going to make a lot more than the $3 you're spending on it to save it and not risk that if you want to be careful. So that's a little bit about Nepeto, the retail side, the distributor side, and the wholesale side. I highly recommend you go to nepeto.com, test it out, get a free trial for 3 days, and the free trial is going to give you access to the retail side. You can take a look at that, and then I think paid, you need to pay for a distributor and wholesale, or possibly just I think it's distributor and wholesale you need to pay, and then paid version will have this. But for the free version, you can get a good hang of it and find a handful of products. It still has the Keepa integration on the free one, so I would go test it out, go to Keepa, take a look at the products, okay? Once you know it's good, go use some of those products you find and buy them, and then you have the free trial for a few days, and you could upgrade, get access to some of these other things, to distributor, wholesale tab, and then all the more suppliers that are being added into retail. So go ahead to nepeto.com. If you have any questions, I think the contact information for Nepeto is on here. It's support@nepeto.com. Reach out, and thank you very much for watching, and have a great one.